Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, if you've ever stared at a massive folder of raw video clips and just felt completely, utterly overwhelmed, trust me, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're demystifying the whole video editing process. We're going to take it from this frustrating, tangled tech puzzle and turn it into a super structured, totally manageable workflow. We'll be focusing heavily on the real core mechanics, specifically how to cut your video effectively and how to seamlessly integrate your voiceovers. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a rock-solid blueprint for turning those scattered clips into a literal masterpiece. It's a tale as old as digital time, isn't it? I mean, you spend hours capturing this amazing footage. Maybe you even record a killer voice script, but then you open up your editing timeline and, well, it looks like the dashboard of a spaceship. It is completely normal to feel a bit lost. But here's the secret. Professional editing isn't about doing 100 things at once. It's really just about stacking elements one by one. It's kind of like building a layer cake. So today, we're going to solve this together by breaking down the editing process layer by layer. You're going to stop wrestling with the software and start actually telling your story. Okay, let's dive right into our layer cake blueprint for today. First, choosing your tools. Second, the visual foundation. Third, the audio focus. Fourth, automatic subtitles. And finally, the final polish. Starting with layer 1, choosing your tools. So if you're working on mobile, our sources highlight 3 fantastic starting points. Adobe Premiere Rush is absolutely brilliant because it has this auto reframe feature, which instantly adapts your video size for stuff like Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. If you're an Apple user, iMovie is completely free and makes combining your clips and dropping in some basic music ridiculously simple. And then we have InVideo, which is highly recommended because it makes putting 2 videos side by side totally seamless. Now, we're definitely going to be exploring some more advanced desktop tools like Kdenlive and CapCut later in this explanation, but these mobile apps, they are the perfect frictionless place to start. Moving right along to layer 2, the visual foundation. When you open up software like CapCut or Kdenlive, the interface logic is pretty much universal. You'll notice the timeline is split into these distinct horizontal rows. The top tracks, usually labeled Video 1, Video 2, and so on, well, those hold your visual clips. And right beneath them, you've got your audio tracks, which show all those little squiggly waveforms. Really grasping that your visuals and your sound live on separate but parallel tracks is literally the ultimate key to controlling your edit. All right, so here is where the magic happens, mastering the rapid mechanics of cutting. You start by just dragging your playhead, that vertical line sweeping across your timeline, to the exact frame you want to slice. Then, you cut. If you're using Kdenlive, for example, hitting Shift+R instantly splits the clip. You can also resize clips just by grabbing and dragging the edges. Oh, and here's a massive pro tip from our sources. Always remember to right-click and select Remove Space between your clips. If you leave blank gaps in your timeline, you're going to get random black screens in your final video, and that completely ruins your pacing. Keeping everything snapped tightly together keeps your audience hooked. All right, layer 3, and this is a big one, the audio focus. So before we even think about adding a separate voiceover, we've got to talk about grouped clips. When you record a video with a camera, the picture and the sound are naturally grouped together by defaults. And honestly, this is a total lifesaver. It means if you slice a clip to edit out a mistake, the software automatically slices the audio at that exact same microsecond. Everything stays perfectly in sync. But when we start adding our own separate voiceovers, we have to manage those extra audio layers a bit more carefully so they actually match the visuals we just chopped up. Think of adding a voiceover like laying a brand new foundation right underneath your video. You basically drop your recorded audio file onto an empty audio track beneath the main footage. But how do you time it perfectly? Well, the source material points out a truly brilliant tool, markers. By adding a marker to a specific frame on your video, let's say the exact second a product pops on screen, you've just created a visual target. Then, you just slide your voiceover track left or right until the specific word you're saying lines up perfectly with that marker. You can also use the Expand Clip feature, which blows up the audio waveform, making it insanely easy to see exactly where your words start and stop. Let's look at layer 4, automatic subtitles. Editing software has gotten so incredibly smart lately. Instead of painfully typing out every single word you just recorded, you can just use built-in speech recognition. You basically just tell the software which language model to use. Popular ones mentioned in our sources include Vosk and Whisper, and you pick the exact zone on your timeline you want it to scan. The AI then listens to your voiceover track and automatically drops a dedicated subtitle layer right on top of your whole timeline. It is almost like magic. Once the AI does its thing, you get this speech editor interface. It maps out all your spoken words right alongside their exact timestamps. And what I absolutely love about this is that you still retain total control. You can easily click on any generated line to fix a typo, and there's even a button to instantly rip out non-speech zones. Those awkward pauses where you weren't saying anything at all. It cleans up the text pacing on screen in a matter of seconds. And finally, layer 5, the final polish. Okay, let's talk about on-screen text. To save yourself a ton of time, you can set up title templates. By just typing a simple variable, specifically %s, into your text box, you create a dynamic placeholder. That means you can reuse this beautiful styled title design across your entire video and just quickly swap out the text for each section without ever having to redesign the fonts and colors. Oh, and keep an eye out for a really handy feature, the built-in spell checker. It'll flag misspelled words in your titles with that familiar red wiggly line, saving you from some potentially very embarrassing typos in your final export. As a final touch, let's smoothly connect our clips. If you just slightly overlap two video clips on the timeline, this little purple circle pops up. Clicking that instantly creates what's known as a wipe composition, basically a totally seamless transition from one clip to the next. And if you want to add some animation, like making a logo slide across the screen, you use keyframes. The beauty of this is pure efficiency. Our sources highlight that you can easily copy and paste these keyframes using good old Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V, applying the exact same smooth animation to totally different clips in seconds. And there you have it. We have built the entire layer cake, from choosing the right app to laying down a tight visual foundation, perfectly syncing up your voiceovers, automating your subtitles, and adding that final professional polish with transitions and templates. Sure, the editing interface might look super intimidating at first glance, but once you approach it one layer at a time, you've got total control. You now have the exact blueprint to take any messy raw footage and turn it into a compelling, polished narrative. So the only question left for you is, what story are you going to edit and share with the world next? Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and happy editing.